New details in the investigation into that deadly helicopter crash in Madison County that killed 3.
Yeah, the NTSB says it'll send a GO team to investigate the crash. That team will arrive in the area tomorrow. It happened in the area of Pipeline Road, which is south of the Natchez Trace Parkway near the Res. 3 News Side's Chris Fields joins us now with reaction following the tragic crash. Chris?
Well, Maggie Howard, a devastating loss is how local, state, and health officials are describing this tragic accident tonight. And at this time, there are still more questions than answers surrounding what led that aircraft to go down.
This afternoon, we started receiving calls that a helicopter had possibly gone down here in Madison County.
It was 12:41 p.m. where you could hear when that alarming dispatch came over the police scanner.
Units checking for the possible downed helicopter because we got a cell phone watch ping.
That cell phone ping led dozens of fire crews and law enforcement agencies right here near the end of West Pipeline Road. That's where our crews spotted law enforcement rolling back the yellow tape, not allowing anyone close to that crash site.
It's a tragic day. Don't really know where to go from there.
Madison County Sheriff Randy Tucker.
You never know what a day is going to bring, but today brought a terrible tragedy and loss to the medical center family.
And officials with UMMC spoke out about the deadly crash Monday. They shared that the 3 were traveling on AirCare 3 based out of Columbus, Mississippi.
Made a patient transport earlier today. They refueled and were traveling back, and shortly afternoon today, we received notification that the helicopter went down.
It's unclear how or why the aircraft failed. Madison County Sheriff Randy Tucker tells us the trio should be remembered as heroes.
You know, they're first responders just like us, and when one of us hurt, we all hurt, and it's a tragic day.
Now, the names of the 3 victims have not been released. Now, the FAA and the NTSB are now leading the investigation. Their GO team arrives at sometime tomorrow. I'm Chris Fields, 3 on your side.
And tonight, new details from first responders and flight tracking services paint a picture of what happened before and after that deadly crash. This animation from Flight Aware represents the last few minutes it was airborne. Now, you can see the chopper pass over the Res. Then, as it was going over the wildlife area there, it starts to slow down and eventually turns north towards the Natchez Trace. Data sent from the chopper's transponder showed that it went from an altitude of 2,500 feet until its eventual crash in less than a minute, falling at a rate of 50 feet every second. Now, what we know from analyzing the flight data is the Eurocopter EC-635 took off from Columbus this morning. That was around 9:32 a.m. It arrived at the Baptist Medical Center in Jackson at 10:26 a.m., then traveled to UMMC at 10:50 a.m. From there, it left from UMMC. That flight was on its way back to Columbus. It remained in the air for 11 minutes before going down at approximately 12:36. First responders began dispatching Gluckstadt fire crews 5 minutes later. By 12:55, a sheriff's deputy reported they had a possible location for the chopper after a cell phone watch began pinging a location, likely because of the force of the crash.
Statewide officials are mourning the victims tonight. Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann offering his condolences, saying in part, "Words cannot express the weight of this loss or the profound gratitude we have for their service in caring for Mississippi patients." We will post any new information that comes in on WLBT.com and on the WLBT News app. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now to get the app. You can also hear UMMC's full press conference that you saw live on our 5 p.m. news earlier this evening.